Well, for many of us, it is hard to get back on schedule after the lazy days of summer. It seems we need a bit of a reset. So here with his tips on getting back into the routine, natural health expert Bryce Wylde joins me. It's like there's like this big hiatus over the summer, and I miss everybody.
I missed you so much too. But we get to follow each other on social media. It looks like you had a blast following your trips around the world. I had a lot of staycation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for once in my life, because I travel too much for work. So
yes, you do. I say, however, you can get the rest and relaxation in, whether it's in your backyard or, you know, somewhere hot on the other side of the world.
That's right.
Do it. You know, use the time to relax, because once you're going full force.
That's absolutely true. And we're back into the thick. You know, whether you're back to school, you're back to work in a routine. By the way, traveling, that is one way we upset this circadian rhythm. So as we speak about getting back in and resetting ourselves, it's really all about the circadian rhythm. Very underappreciated. In fact, it starts in the brain. So let's show folks at home really where the anatomy of this all exists. And in fact, when you look at the brain, and our brain is about 4 to 6 pounds fat, but central to the brain, deep inside the brain, there is something called the hypothalamus. You see it right there on your screen in yellow?
Yep.
That hypothalamus is exactly where your biological clock and circadian rhythm exists. And this is a really interesting anatomy, because at the top of the head, it's called the optic chiasm. It's where your eyes cross over, so your right eye goes to the left part of your occipital lobe, your left eye to the other side. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Right there is what controls the day cycle and the night cycle. So in fact, we'll get to this later a bit in the segment, but light through your eyes literally affects the back of your brain and the hypothalamus to regulate your day-night cycle. And so back to traveling a lot, we know this. Jet lag that throws up, and so over the summer we've been traveling, some of us more than others, and you know, we've been maybe eating a little bit too much or off routine, not the same time, dinner is all thrown off, 100%. Too late, maybe a few too many drinks at a patio bar. So
it's like you know my life.
It's all of it, but it messes with all of our circadian rhythms.
So how do we get it back?
Right, so starting over here, so digestion. Digestion's everything. And so we know more and more these days that the brain and gut are connected. In fact, when this is upset, this is upset, and vice versa. When this is upset, this is upset. So eating off schedule really messes with us. We develop symptoms like, you don't have to have diagnosed irritable bowel syndrome, but constipation. Here's what their circadian rhythm loves. Poo-phoria, We've all had it. I'll explain. That first morning defecation, right? You're sitting on the toilet, it all comes out so nice and all in one lump, right? And it's like,
it's already
it feels
like
amazing.
A check mark on your day.
And when it happens routinely, your circadian rhythm loves it. You know why? Your vagus nerve, it's a very, very deeply branched nerve throughout your organs, back to the central part of the brain. I showed you the hypothalamus. It says, okay, like you said, check. That 7 a.m. poo-phoria happened. We can now move on with our day, right?
Oh my gosh, I love that. I didn't think that meant anything.
So poo-phoria is a thing.
But it means something.
The vagus nerve's talking to your brain and saying, check, that's one check. That will, so how do we get there? If we're already all dysregulated. So pre and probiotics. We've heard about probiotics, not so much about prebiotics. Get that into your system. Eat a lot of, veggies, roughage, but soluble fiber. This is a powder you just mix into water. Right? That will feed the probiotics. So prebiotics, food for the probiotic. And 60% of our stool is fiber, pre and probiotic activity.
So do both of those.
So do both of those
regularly.
And that will create regularity.
And
that regularity, again, will speak to the vagus nerve, to the brain, poo-phoria happens, and you're happy camper.
And it's a good day.
Right? Yes, it's a very good day.
So I'm going to speak out of turn here, because I'm not a natural health practitioner, but you've got workout gear here, and I feel like this also leads to porphyria.
Well, absolutely. So
like the consistent working out, it's like I feel like it keeps my system on track.
I'm with you. Pre and probiotics, an organic espresso, and an exercise first thing in the morning, I am so good to go.
You're so good.
Right? So beyond even just getting yourself moving, literally, physically moving, exercise controls or helps your brain control the serotonin-melatonin balance. All right? Serotonin's a day hormone. It's a mood hormone as well. It's a feel-good hormone, but it controls wakefulness. Melatonin, of course, is what gets us off to sleep. Okay, we'll talk even more about that when we talk sleep hygiene. But exercise also burns off cortisol. So first thing in the morning, all right? First thing in the morning, after your poo-phoria, you're going to have some intensive exercise, about an hour after waking up. That's going to set your rhythm and depreciate cortisol, the stress hormone, going to burn off cortisol. Another check on getting your system back into a routine.
Very
all right?
good.
Resetting ourselves.
Good tips.
Now, dinner. It's actually the most important meal of the day, and here's why. We used to think breakfast, not anymore. And here's why. A, it's got to be smallest meal of the day.
Right.
And when you regulate the portion size of your dinner, regardless of what we're eating, we're not talking about what you're eating tonight, today, but that's why I left the plate empty. But just when you're eating, no later than 4 hours before sleep. That's how you reset your system.
Early dinner.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you have a fasting window. We hear more and more about this fasting, intermittent fasting.
Yes.
You know, about 8-hour feeding window with the remaining hours, the 14 hours where you're just, off not eating. So no later than 4 hours before dinner. And studies show DHA, so fish. Fish in your diet, DHA omega-3 helps your circadian rhythm throughout the night.
Okay.
Right? Circadian rhythm is important. Absolutely.
So an earlier dinner.
And portion size is everything. So have the size you'd imagine having for breakfast at dinner, and vice versa. 8-hour feeding window. Vitamin D. A lot of studies show that there are multiple genes, DNA in our body that are regulated circadian rhythm. That makes sense. I mean, day cycle with vitamin D. So supplemental vitamin D. I don't care what the brand is. Just 1,000 to 2,000 IU vitamin D3 every day. Sleep hygiene. We've spoken about this before.
So crucial.
Right? So important. Let's go through the motions of what this is. But this is the most important thing to reset yourself. So I have an alarm clock here. Don't set your phone or alarm clock for the time you're supposed to wake up in the morning. Set it for 1 hour before going to sleep. Why? That's going to tell you before going to bed. That's going to remind you it is time to get to yourself into bed. Right? So that you achieve that 8 hours of deep, restful sleep. Make sure you have a comfortable pillow and mattress. We don't have to think about that.
Make sure it's a little chilly.
Set your thermostat to 68 degrees or about 20 degrees. If you can't black out your blinds, make sure you wear a mask. And try waking up to a light. Intensive light, just like exercise, will start serotonin going and cut off melatonin, because that's your sleep cycle hormone.
Okay, there's so much takeaway, but pooforia.
Pooforia.